Crash Team Rumble? More like Mid-Team Rumble. I'm not playing another match with you ever again. We didn't even play a match during the closed beta. Ha! Fool. What's up, Bandicoot, and welcome back to another video on Crash Team Rumble. Crash Team Rumble's closed beta ended yesterday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and I am facing the biggest withdrawal of my entire life. So Toys for Bob, if you want to hit me up with another beta behind closed doors, you know where to find me. So with the closed beta comes feedback, and feedback is very crucial for this game as it is a multiplayer game, and it seems like it's going to be multiplayer game by default. I know that we have the possibility of there possibly being some kind of single player-ish kind of mode and maybe a story to it in some way, but from the closed beta and everything that I played, this game is much better played with friends or just with random people that you get paired into a team with up online. I think that alone really says a lot for a multiplayer experience when it comes to Crash Bandicoot. And something that I noticed, and I'm pretty sure Toys for Bob said, is the reason for this game being more so different from like others like Boom Bang, Bash, and Crash Team Racing was solely because there's not really a Crash Bandicoot game out there that brings the platform mechanics of Crash Bandicoot into a multiplayer game. You can argue to an extent that Bash did it, but not really, because those were just little mini games that had you going around and doing like various different things, and the closest thing in Bash is that one combat one, but you don't even have majority of the Crash Bandicoot platform mechanics in it because you're just going around picking up boxes, throwing them at people and spinning into people, or shooting people with Cortex's ray. I don't even, can you shoot people in that game with Cortex's gun? I can't remember. I have like 47 hours clocked into the game, and that says a lot for a game that only has like 3 maps that cycle through endlessly with 5 different characters to play through. I'm not really a big multiplayer kind of person. I'm not a very big online multiplayer kind of person. The only online games I really got into, some Fortnite here and there, Smash Brothers Ultimate, and Multiverses. Those were like the only games outside of the Crash Bandicoot genre that I've delved into and just had some kind of liking towards, but not something that I feel like I could say that I was too big in. Now when it comes to Crash Team Rumble, I can for sure say that this is probably the best multiplayer experience that I've had ever in any kind of multiplayer game. And I'm not like trying to say that Crash Team Racing and all these other Crash Bandicoot multiplayer games, you know, are bad in comparison, but when I genuinely think about the games that I've had most fun with when it comes to multiplayer, and after as much as I've played Crash Team Rumble, nothing really compares to it. Like, I go back and I play Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and you know, it's fun, but it's not really capturing the thing that I think that, you know, Toys for Bob did with Crash Team Rumble really well. And I mean, Crash Team Racing Nitro Field's multiplayer really isn't up to par. And find some matches for sure if you're on PlayStation, but majority of the time it's just you waiting in a lobby, waiting for the race to start, and then either hopefully the race will start and you'll get in, or you'll wait at the beginning for like a minute or two, and then someone will drop, and then either you get into the game because someone dropped, or the entire lobby crashes and now you gotta go back to matchmaking again. It's a whole mess. Now, there are a few issues that I've had with some of the characters, and I'm also certain that a lot of people had issues with certain characters. So that's what this video is today. I'm compiling my thoughts and opinions on Crash Team Rumble so far, thanks to the closed beta coming out. And I really hope that they come out with another beta sometime before launch, because I really want to try out the other characters like Catbad, Entropy, and Brio. Like, I feel like I should be able to play as them if I were able to play as Crash, Coco, Tana, and Cortex and Dingodile. Just having like another beta that focuses around those 3 characters would be pretty awesome. But we might not get that. We might get that. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Big thank you to Activision for reaching out the other day and offering me some codes to give away to you guys. So a lot of you guys who are probably commenting under this post that I asked for some people to provide feedback for the game to include in this video, you probably got a code from me and were able to play it, and I hope you enjoyed your time with it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the criticisms that I can give Crash Team Rumble. Crash Team Rumble is a really fun multiplayer game. It's very unique. It's a platform arena fighter. I've seen some people try to compare it to Rayman Arena, and there's a few others out there. You know, the most common thing to be compared to as a MOBA like League of Legends or Smite. And I want a lot more cinematics. I want to see more of the introduction. I want to see like not specifically cutscenes, but more so like maybe you can bring CTR TV back, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do that, and have these little animated cinematics that are very much on par with the CGI intro for Crash Team Rumble. When it comes down to the gameplay, really the only thing I can say is that a lot of the characters feel really well balanced, while others feel kind of eh. I'm a Tana main. I went in hoping to be a Cortex main, but I came out as a Tana main. Cortex is very interesting. Cortex, I wouldn't say is broken. A lot of people say that Cortex is broken. I wouldn't say he's broken. He's just got a unique moveset that when someone masters them, like Cortex Aussie Pal over on Twitter, he's a freaking beast with Cortex. I don't even know. This man got like 19 kills in one of his matches, Cortex alone. And I'm just like, there are a few issues with Cortex. For example, his piano move. Piano move can spawn 2 pianos. It's kind of busted. So Cortex Aussie Pal found out that when spawning pianos, if you time it just right and you press the piano, spawn button, I think it's R2, there's like a split second, a short little time frame where you can spawn in 2 pianos to slam down on your opponent like at the same time. It's mad busted. And on top of that, he can also transform the characters into animals. Now, I wouldn't say that specifically is a problem, because the transformation, again, you have to master Cortex to understand how to play him. I've been able to dodge it sometimes, and even if you do get transformed into an animal, it's only for like 3 seconds. Like, I've seen people get out of the animal transformation almost instantly after being transformed. I don't know if it's a combination of button mashing or just something happened on server side that caused them to be transformed for like a split second. And also he has the air dash. The air dash counts as damage. But again, Cortex is just a character that you have to master in order to really annoy some people with. Crash, on the other hand, I thought that I was going to be tripped up with the placement of slide on R2, but it actually just kind of evolved into something that was very unique and very fluid. Now, I will say the body slam is very weird. The body slam now has a dedicated button, which is the circle button, or I believe it would be the B button for the Xbox controller. But the thing is, in order to body slam, you have to press that button. You can't jump and press that button and initiate a body slam. You have to press that button. At least for me. When I was playing the game and I went to jump and, go for a body slam, I pressed a button and it just didn't do anything. In order to body slam, you have to be grounded and you have to press that button at the same time. It tripped me up when playing as Crash and Coco, because I expected to jump and then do the body slam, but you can't jump and do the body slam. You have to initiate the body slam while grounded. Coco can be annoying if you're playing as Dingo or really any other character, because, just like Crash, her body slam is kind of overpowered. Maybe there should be like a delay or like a cooldown, not too much of a cooldown on the body slam itself, but just something that makes it less spammy. You can have a lot of moments where, you're trying to block with Dingo Dial, or if you're trying to capture one of the gym pads, you just get this Coco that's just body slam, okay, and then instantly body slam. Like, the amount of time that it takes for you to recover from the body slam, their body slam has already recharged. Feels a little too unbalanced there. And then Dingo's okay. Dingo's sort of like Cortex. You have to know what you're doing in order for him to be utilized properly. Playing as Dingo's, the main strategy is to block the enemy team's base so they don't score, which can get kind of troublesome if you are getting ganged up on. And this goes into the ping system. I hope that they change the ping system up. I don't think that they should outright put in a voice chat. I do feel like the ping system needs some work, because if you are getting ganged up on as a Dingo Dial, or if you are trying to get one gym platform captured, like the other one's doing just fine, but there's people over there just hanging out or whatever, but you're really trying to get this other one over here and you're pinging and no one's really paying attention. Also, the ping doesn't really work that well. I've noticed sometimes people will ping and I'll see like the little help thing, but that's not really in my field of view. Everyone has a blind spot. When you're playing the game, you have a blind spot. And when you're paying attention to what you're doing, if the ping just is off to the side of the screen, like right here, and you're paying attention, like trying to fight off this one person, or trying to claim your own gym pad, or you know, just going around breaking crates and not really paying attention to what's going on these sides of the screen, then that becomes an issue. Because yes, you could argue that, you know, you move the camera and you could see the ping, but by the time you're moving the camera, the ping goes like this, right? And you're still maintaining your focus on what your goal is. And on top of that, it's just, it's so small. Like it's a decent size, but it's really small. So for pinging, I would say maybe add in like a character going like help, or like, you know, have a character line say, have the character say a line that coincides with the ping, so that way it breaks the immersion of you going in and trying to focus on what you're focusing on solely. And two, it's just like, okay, who's calling for help, you know? Now I wouldn't say that you should be able to spam the ping button, so they'll constantly keep saying that one line. So maybe after a ping, you have them say that line, and then maybe there's like a delay, because once you ping, it should already be in that vicinity. I don't think you would need the ping more than once in that vicinity. Just ping, have the character yell out something, and then have that ping stay there, or maybe make it larger, or I don't know, maybe make I don't know. Maybe make it somewhat more aware that a teammate needs help. Maybe have, like, instead of like a character yelling for help, have like an icon pop up, and then the message help pop up on screen, and then, or just like, for example, you can turn on like arrows to help you guide to your bank. Maybe have like a ping arrow, so whenever someone pings, it spawns an arrow and it shows you which direction the ping is for the duration of the ping, and when the ping goes away, the arrow is, you know, vanishes as well. So that's something that you could probably work in, and probably something that would probably be very helpful with the ping system in general. Or maybe just have like a completely like hold down the ping button and then use the analog stick to choose what you want to say. I could see that working. Or maybe change it to the D-pad, so because you already have D-pad on emote, so maybe like a combination of R1 and a D-pad to press like up, you know, down, left, right, and then you could either have them have like custom messages or preset messages that are like, help, I'm over here, you know. So something like that would very much be helpful for the pinging system. Going back to Dingo, his movement is very slow. And I get that he's a blocker, but I feel like he might need a little bit more oomph to his speed, because let me tell you, the respawn time and then immediately probably getting again ganged up on by a bunch of Cocos or a bunch of Crashes while you're trying to help your team out, it does not go very well. Because what I've noticed a lot is a lot of people see that a team has a Dingo, and if the team is full of Cocos and Crashes, or maybe even a Tana, and they don't have a Dingo, they will instantly try to get like 2 people on their team to gang up on the Dingo almost consistently throughout the match. And Dingo is always at like some kind of disadvantage. Maybe give him a little bit of a speed boost, but nothing too much of a speed boost to make him feel like any different. And then on top of that, if we could change how the super spin works, because the super spin, I've noticed for me specifically, I know there's like a cooldown before you can do another super spin, but even before I've been able to initiate a super spin, I've had trouble just holding down the button for a super spin, and nothing happened. Like, maybe I'll hold it down for a little bit, and then by the time I'm about to let go, I get hit out of it, and now I have to worry about possibly the cooldown causing another issue, or just trying to get back to the rhythm of pressing down the button and holding it there so you can release the super spin. I've noticed a lot of people that do play as Dingo have this issue as well, so maybe this is something that can be fixed before full release. That's just like the smallest issue with Dingo. I think everything else for Dingo is fine. For Tana, I absolutely love Tana. I think Tana is a better scorer than Crash. I personally just love the air combat and just the air mobility. Using her hook shot to traverse across the map is super fun, and it's just, there's something unique and very fun about it. And because I know I'm going to go back and play Crash Bandicoot 4, and I'm going to be trying to do that constant hook shot to propel me through the stage, I'm not gonna be able to do it. But I would say that maybe make her have a bit more of a faster hook shot, because there have been moments where I've been trying to get away from a team, from an opposing teammate, getting into a little bit of rut, and when I use the hook shot, for one, it's already slow because you have to wait for the hook to do its shot, and then a second or two before you actually go with the hook shot. And on top of that, if you're trying to get away from someone, it doesn't help because it's actually slower to do it rapidly, because you're waiting, go, wait, go, wait, go, wait, go. You know, you don't really have much time to get out of a situation like that. And by the time you're already pinging, or by the time that you've already pinged for help, you're dead. She needs a little bit more speed with the hook shot, but overall I think Tana is a very solid character and a lot more fun than Crash. Surprisingly a lot more fun. And I think that pretty much covers all the characters. As for maps, I enjoy each map. I think each map is very well crafted, and I can't wait to see what other maps that they have in store. We got a little snippet of Insanity Peak in that closed beta trailer, and I really want to see more. Tiki Towers is really fun, probably the best level to play on. Calamity Canyon is just like a mix between Tiki Towers and Just Beachy. It's a big stage with a lot of gym platforms right off the bat, but it has like the same kind of, it's got like that bigness to it like Tiki Towers has. And then Just Beachy is very well crafted. I love that they use Just Beachy for the tutorial, because Just Beachy is definitely a smaller stage, and you can clearly see what you have to do from the start when you get to Just Beachy. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to what stages they have in store. As for the Battle Pass itself, I didn't really have much of a problem. I know a lot of people have been saying that the Battle Pass is a little slow. We've got to remember that this is an online multiplayer game. It's going to be like Fortnite. It's going to be like any other game that has a battle pass. The battle pass progression is going to be slow because they need you to continuously play. Like that's the gist of the battle pass system. That is not an issue with the game in general. That is just how battle pass systems work. If you play any kind of free-to-play game that has a battle pass in it, the battle pass progression is slow on purpose, because they want you to play the game more and more, and they want you to be fulfilled. If you were to speed up the battle pass progression any more than what it is now, and let's say, you know, you get into season 1, the battle pass is supposed to last you 3 months, about 3 months. If they were to speed up progression and you were to finish the battle pass within the first month or within the first 2 months, then you look at the game and you go, all right, what am I supposed to do now? I've got everything on the battle pass. It's not really much of an incentive to keep playing. That's the reason why the battle pass is in the game. And the battle pass is pure cosmetics. You don't have to buy the battle pass. No characters or new maps or new modes will be, you know, put into these battle passes, as they've already previously stated. But the battle pass is supposed to encourage players to continuously play the game day by day. And obviously, if you're worried about the battle pass taking forever and you may not have enough time within these 3 months of a battle pass to complete the battle pass, they will obviously have double XP weekends to where, or supercharged XP like Fortnite does it, to where if you have a certain amount of days that you go off, they supercharge your XP. So when you're going into the battle pass the next day and you're grinding the games, you get more XP for your battle pass to help you with the completion of the with the progress. So the battle pass itself, in my opinion, is doable. Like, I didn't finish it. I know a lot of people did finish it just because they wanted to grind it out day after day, but I did have some stuff that I had to look into and a lot of personal stuff that I had to work on myself, so I didn't get that much time. But I made it to at least, I want to say I made it to level 32 on the battle pass before the closed beta. And while I know there's a big issue with a lot of people that look at the closed beta and they're just like, oh, but the progress doesn't cross over, so what's the point of grinding the battle pass? For me personally, I grinded the battle pass just because I wanted to get a feel for the battle pass. I wanted to understand the progression. The progression is almost exactly like Fortnite's battle pass, so I got the feel for that. And on top of that, I've already pre-ordered the deluxe edition, and if you're getting the physical edition as well, this is included. Like, you get the level 25 boost for season 1, which means once you go into season 1 for the battle pass, you can instantly get the 25 levels. And I think the level 25 boost helps recompensate for your time spent playing the closed beta if you did grind a lot of the levels. And plus, most of the stuff in the battle pass are probably not going to be that big of a deal in the final game when the battle pass actually starts for season 1. I have a feeling a lot of these cosmetics are probably like on the free tier of the battle pass, or just somewhere in the game where you can go and complete challenges for each character, such as the character challenge. And now let's go ahead and dive into Twitter and see what other people are talking about when it comes to the game. Alright, so this one comes from ASO. I would love to see an option where you can choose the music that would play in the stage, and an option when we can choose a different voice for the announcer, a character's voice, female's voice, chicken stews, Aku's, etc. And naturally, more trilogy characters the merrier. Alright, I can definitely see this, and I do think that the announcer will be customizable, because it just feels like it would be a customizable thing. As much customization as I've seen in this game, from just building your player profile to changing the music on your end scorecard if you get top player, you can customize almost everything. Not legitimately everything, but almost everything. So I could definitely see, you know, changing the stage music being a thing, as well as maybe changing the main menu music and all that kind of stuff. I definitely can see that, as well as the character voices. So yes, I do see, like, maybe some characters don't get in as like actual playable characters, or some characters don't get in as like relic station cameos like Oxide did, or maybe, you know, maybe you could have Oxide as an announcer. But I think a lot of the characters that might not make it in, or a lot of cool references, could be held in just changing the voice of the announcer, such as Aku. I would really love to see them add the Crash Suit guy's voice as an announcer, just because I feel like having the Crash Suit guy in any kind of Crash Bandicoot game would be really funny and really fun. So definitely would like to see that. And obviously we don't know the extent of the characters that they're going to be adding, but from the interview that CGE had with Pollyann, it does seem like they are looking into bringing more characters in. This game is going to have a long lifetime, so we're definitely going to get characters from all ends of the Crash universe. We'll just have to wait and see when they get added, but yeah, thank you for the suggestion. Alright, this one comes from Mr. Evaporation. Fake Crash. They should scrap the whole game altogether. Crash Team Rumble, more like Mid-Team Rumble. I'm not playing another match with you ever again. We didn't even play a match during the closed beta. Ha! Fool. As we know, Fake Crash, he's always kidding. He says, just kidding, here's a whole list of everything I want to see added and changed. Other general things. Please let up to 4 emotes via the D-pad. I agree with, because being able to have an emote and you have 4 different buttons on the D-pad, you could have used the D-pad for the ping system, but you chose to use it for the emote system, and you only get to do 1 emote. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of like, what's the point of having emotes? Because, like, I feel like being able to customize emotes on a D-pad itself would be very interesting, and plus you get the most use out of it. You'd be able to use more emotes. I don't know if there's like a reason for them not adding that in. I'm pretty sure that might be something that comes to the final game. Hope it comes to the final game. But yes, I would like to see multiple emotes be able to be customized for which D-pad arrow you want it on. Please utilize music from the Crash universe and not just modern era Crash games. I think the reason they used the Insane Trilogy tracks was just because it's something new. I could see them utilizing old Crash Bandicoot tracks, or allowing you to switch to the classic Crash Bandicoot tracks if you wanted to for those games. I mean, we also had that hint on the loading screen that says Kapunawa's time travel may let Crash Team Rumble travel to the past or something like that. There was something in there about Kapunawa messing with time. So it is very possible and very likely that we will see a lot of these old Crash Bandicoot games like Twinsanity, Tag Team Racing, Boom Bang, Bash even. We've got all these different games to pull soundtracks from, and I do think it's very likely that they will allow that. Any lag issues, I hope they get fixed during the final release. I do believe that they will be fixed. These next 2 months are more than enough time to fix whatever server-sided issues that they had. This, I mean, for example, this was the first time I think they tested crossplay on a wide variety of different people, rather than behind closed doors with a small team. And them testing crossplay like that, like with a game like this, the amount of people that were playing and seeing that the servers only had some hiccups here and there, like very little hiccup. Like the hiccups that you see in this closed beta are probably hiccups that you would expect from an online multiplayer game. I do think that those issues can very well be thinned out. I played the game for 4 days, and I've only run into like a lobby crashing like once, twice. That's about it. Lag issues, maybe 3 times in a match. But I mean, again, for a closed beta that tested it cross-platform, there are a lot more issues that could have gone wrong. Like, for real. There are so many different things that could have gone wrong. But it seems like the servers that they have are very solid and very well tuned. And I think any issues that could have possibly be seen from this closed beta alone will certainly be ironed out within the next 2 months. Hope for more original music in the stages, because I feel like it'll get tiresome listening to the same tracks over and over, and maybe sort of a jukebox feature where we can choose what songs to go where. Sort of going back to ASO's comment, yes, I do believe that we should be able to customize the music of the stages. As for original music, we can already tell that there might be some original music in the game. We don't know the extent of it. They could have just used like Turtle Woods, some of these other older tracks for certain parts of the game as just like a way to tease, you know, certain music tracks. But we did have that introduction bit that has music that was actually scrapped from Crash Bandicoot 4. This was pointed out by Abdul. On top of that, it was a remix of a track that was scrapped from Crash Bandicoot 4. I think it's likely we'll get some original music, but I also wouldn't mind if it is just original music, just because, like, again, I know we like to have original music for each stage, but if the stage is literally Hang 8, why not just put Hang 8 over it, you know? Add fake Crash? Nah. Don't do that. Add more game modes. It's going to be a bit tiresome if we only have one game mode to play. I mean, we already know that there's going to be more game modes. We don't know the extent of how many game modes will come per season. I would expect like 1 game mode per season, just because if each season lasts 3 months, you know, you're kind of limited to how much time you have to create a game mode that will work properly with the system, and it could take longer than 3 months, so we might get 1 game mode like every other season. We'll have to wait and see, but we do know more game modes are coming, and I'm gonna be honest, just again, from what I played, I wasn't getting really tired from playing the same 3 maps over in the same mode, just because there's just something about it that's just very satisfying. Again, it keeps all the Crash Bandicoot core mechanics intact, and there's just something that's just there that I see and I can't really explain, but I'm sure most people know what I'm talking about. Please add a ranking system. A ranking system will likely get in. We already have the matchmaking ranking system that's not visible to everyone, probably just for testing reasons. But I think by the end of by the time the game actually comes out, we will have some kind of rank system. Add Inkling. No, Splatoon sucks. Please make player gamer tags more bigger. I'm assuming you mean in match. I mean, I guess, but also at the same time, I don't really mind not seeing the other player's name, but that's just me. Please let us change the color of our teams like Overwatch, so we aren't just limited to red and I think I know what you mean by that, and that's something that I'll touch up on later, because there's another comment here that I remember getting from someone, and I'll touch up on that more later. They should also add a feature where Crash can 1-2 buckle his shoe. I agree. So Pollyann, Lou, anyone, just do it, please. Please. Because if you don't, I'm never gonna hear the end of it from Fake Crash. Please. Oh god, please. Alright, Cortex's Aussie pal says Cortex's piano needs a buff. You know what? I agree. I do agree. I feel like he's very slow with dropping the piano. Let's make him 2 times faster when dropping the piano. Instead of dropping 2 at the last second, let him drop 3. No, double it. Make it 4. This one comes from Hoovy, longtime friend of mine. Haven't spoken to him in ages. You should be allowed to change character after being killed. So I'm assuming sort of like Overwatch in a sense, where you can go in, you can change your character. I could see that working, but also at the same time, I kind of just like being able to play the same character that you are. It kind of puts you, because again, you're going for 2001 plus, so there is going to be an end of the match kind of thing. And I feel like if people were allowed to change their character, it would make it a much more longer match. And I don't think a lot of people want a much more longer match, especially if the people that like to go AFK goes AFK anyway on the character select screen. It just feels like it adds a little bit more timing to that respawn, but also kind of keeps things at bay when it comes to the game itself. I mean, a character changing thing for another mode would be interesting, but for this basic game mode, I don't think changing your character is necessarily, but I mean, could be implemented into another game that's more like, you know, more like Overwatch or Capture the Flag or something like that, you know. But in the main game mode, I don't think they should allow you to change. All right, J Bills says, I'd love to see Dingodile mains automatically kicked if they camp at the team banks. Great feature that we need. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry Fez has ruined the game for you. But no, in all seriousness, no. I totally get it. You just gotta find a strategy that goes against it. Again, the best strategy for a Dingodile that camps at your base is to just send the Coco in and do the body slam repeatedly. I mean, or send in 2 Cocos. It's a Dingodile's worst nightmare. This one comes from What Pet Really Wumps. I think adding trappable villains or rideable land, sky, and sea vehicles would be cool. Could even name the vehicles superchargers. Yeah, but unfortunately, this is Crash Bandicoot game. So we probably get Polar, Purra, and maybe the motorcycle. We'll probably get something that we can ride in. But I think Polar and Purra would pretty much take that spot. I would love to see a mechanic where you're able to spawn in Polar or Purra and run around the map, bumping into enemies and whatnot. I think that would be really fun. Alright, this one comes from Crash Smash Show 1. Characters moveset need to have a bit of a buffer or timer on certain moves, or honestly, there needs to be some sort of anti-spam thing in the game. Crash's Power Slam, Dingo's Super Spin, but otherwise, overall, pretty damn fun. I agree. But the Dingodile Super Spin, again, I've had trouble getting the trigger, and I feel like there is a bit of a cooldown before you can trigger it again, but that's from me personally playing Dingodile. I don't know how much time I spent into Dingodile, but I do have him fully upgraded on the character thing, and I did get everything for him, so I played him a good amount of times to know how spammable his Super Spin is. But going for Crashes, I think Crash and Coco's Power Slam definitely need some kind of cooldown, as I was saying in the beginning. This comes from Breeze. Fix the camera controls so they stay inverted after ending or starting a new play session, at least for those that switch the controls to inverted anyways. I don't play with inverted controls, so I didn't know this was an issue, so I definitely think this could be an issue that can very well be fixed by the time the game comes out. I don't know why they would make it to where you can't just keep the controls inverted, but that is very interesting. So yeah, I hope they change that for those who use inverted controls. This one comes from Nick Knock. Make the battle pass progress faster. I felt like I should be maybe 2 tiers ahead than I actually was. Again, going back to the battle pass thing, if we were to make it faster, you would complete the battle pass faster, and you know, while that's fun and all, again, if you complete too quickly, there's not going to be an incentive to go back and play the game unless you're just playing with friends for fun. And the seasons are supposed to last you 3 months technically. You're not supposed to just go in and rush out the battle pass. These battle passes are meant to keep you playing throughout the 3 months that the season lasts, even if you don't have enough time to play. So I mean, I would personally disagree with that, but maybe they could change it a little bit. Add more character levels, maybe 20 to 25. I do believe by the final game, when the final game comes out, that the character levels will be upgraded. I think they just did a small amount just to test servers, just like how the battle pass itself is supposed to be 100 and we only had 40 levels for the battle pass. So I think going forward, the character challenges will certainly go up, maybe 15 or 20 or 25, depending on how many unlockables they want for a specific character. But yeah, allow us to change colors of the characters. I don't know about that one, because while I get mirror matches are a thing, we do have a lot of customization options, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really come across a lot of people that dressed the same as me or used the same stuff that I had. I mean, you can easily tell who's not on your team. Like, you can very easily tell who's on your so I don't know about that. Maybe it'd be cool as a cosmetic situation, but aesthetically, I don't think it's really neat. Make sure to have steady flow of new content. I mean, seasons last 3 months, so we surely know for a fact that there will be steady new content. Nothing else, this person. Okay. This one comes from Sorori. We need more game mode. Maybe add some from Bash even, and moving on. Mr. Big says, I think they should be, there should be assists for knockouts. I do think that there should be assists for knockouts, because there are times where you'll probably get someone to, like, the smallest bit of health, and then someone will come around and kill them for you, and then that'll count as a kill for them. So having something that compensates you for getting most of the damage put in on them, and then someone coming in and killing it, you know, maybe the kill goes to you and then they get the assist. That I could definitely see that being a thing. It's Washington the 17th says, nerf Crash and Coco Super Slam and buff Crash's spin and triple spin. Be a bit stronger and faster than Coco. I guess, yeah, because I mean, you are a scorer. You want to get away from a booster that's fighting you or a blocker that's fighting you a lot quicker. And plus, Coco has like that like wall that she puts up that instantly speeds her and anyone that goes through it. So yeah, that would be something interesting. Healing Fridge should only be one charge to prevent abuse by blockers like Dingodile. I could see that, but I mean, I've only ran a Fridge one time with Dingodile with one charge, and I've easily been taken out, even if I had two Fridges near. But yeah, I think Dingodile should probably not be able to use Healing Fridge more than one. And then maybe throw in some hazardous crates, TNT, Nitro, Fire into the mix. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of more crates into the mix. I'm interested to see how they're going to do the Nitro crates. TNT, we'll see. Because we know that there's a power-up that has TNT in it that's like passing a hot potato around, sort of like the Storm Cloud from Bash, where you pass it to each other, you try to get it off, and the last person it lands on, they can't get it off, it blows them up. So yeah, we should be able to see a lot more crates come into play, and I'm very interested in seeing how those will work out. And then Biker Crash says the same thing about the Fridge for Dingodile. Power-up bars for boosters should also fill up faster for depositing relics and gems, since gems are set on too many different factors. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely agree. And plus, boosters don't collect that much Wumpa. They only are limited to 90. So scoring your Wumpa really isn't going to help there. And you're probably going to want to fill up those bars quickly to help out your team. So I definitely agree with that. A Nationverse 8472 says, I would want to see a matchmaking system where players could go up against players of the same level. That's technically how it was supposed to work, even though I know a lot of people didn't get that. And I think that's just because a lot of people jumped into the beta like later, and a lot of their friends had those higher tiers, so whenever they got into matchmaking with those friends, the matchmaking system was favoring the friends level more than the newer beginner level. So I'm pretty sure a system like that, you know, they've already got the system, they just need to do some tweaking. Tyrone says the top performer music should be played in lobbies. I could see that, yeah. Chris says boost teams that are short human players. Missing one player is manageable for a skilled team, but missing 2 or 3 players is a guaranteed loss. And I mean, that just goes into like the whole AFK thing. I think they should kick people if they've gone AFK for too long and replace that person with a bot, because there was like a match before my final match in the game where we had one Crash player that just stood in base nothing, and we were getting absolutely destroyed, and it was simply just because it was 3v4 and the 4 team, they had a synergy going, so like we couldn't really do anything about that. So yeah, I do believe that we should be recompensated if anyone were to go AFK, or if the bot, and I do think that the bots should adapt to the level of the players playing with, just because you know, majority of the time it is a level 1 bot, and the level 1 bot doesn't know how people are playing, just because they don't know what a high level looks like. So hopefully from the data that they've collected from the closed beta, they can improve the bots based off of high level player data. This one comes from Fruit Lion. Coco's a bit too good, to the point she makes Crash himself look obsolete. I don't know about that, because Crash isn't supposed to be Crash is supposed to be different from Coco. Coco is a booster, so therefore she will have the better moveset and the better speed, whereas Crash is a scorer, so he's not really focused on doing the stuff that Coco's focused on doing. So the difference there is very much neat. We don't want a clone of each other, and we don't want one to be better than the other. We'll have to wait and see what they do to change that up, but I do think that Crash and Coco are pretty balanced so far. When the server got busy, there were quite a lot of lag issues. I mean, that's to be expected. It's an online game. If the server is full, obviously there's a lot of things clogging the server, so to expect lag. That's just normal for a multiplayer game. We're not gonna have the perfect multiplayer experience for any perfect multiplayer online game. Any online multiplayer game will always come across. There's just no evading. The lag was very minimal, and I'd say that it's honestly really impressive with the closed beta that the lag was that minimal, because I was expecting the game server to absolutely crash. Like, we know the extent of these servers and what they can, like, no server, the game servers never went offline at all. From my playtime, I only experienced lag like 3 times in a match, and I've only been disconnected from a match like one time. So the servers are perfectly fine. But if the servers are lagging, the obvious answer is that they're full. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. That's just how online works. But that's the limitation of what happens when servers get full. And then a small nerf for the fridge and guard's health. I don't think that the fridge and guard's health needs any nerfing, especially the fridge. The fridge can be taken down really quickly with Coco's spin or Tana's like uppercut move. And the guard, while I would argue that the health should be lower, you have the timer on each of the guards that lasts a little bit faster than what normal health would be for the guard. So even if you were to just wait around for like 5 seconds, the guard will be gone. Like the guard disappears instantly. It'll be there for a few moments, but majority of the time, if you just wait it out, it'll just... and then I got another one here from Destination Mark that says, if I can reply here, because I quote retweeted it saying last minute, instead of the OG post, I'd like to see tweaks to the pairing system. Instead of everyone being on blue team, from their own perspective, try and change it to blue, so blue sees blue and red team sees red. That way it'll just be easier when pairing and switching teams, because that process was quite confusing at first. I agree. And this is tying back into Fake Crash's comment about changing the color of your team. So the big issue was when you went into an online match, or if you went into a private lobby and you were to switch teams, your team primarily was always blue. On your screen, you would have your blue team, you have your red team at the bottom. But what they didn't tell you is that when you're switching teams, is your name stays in the blue part where the blue is. So when you switch teams, you technically switch to red, but you're still blue. It's very confusing to explain, and that's just how it is. But that's pretty much it for Crash Team Rumble feedback. Crash Team Rumble is a very, very well-crafted and unique Crash Bandicoot multiplayer experience that ties in the core mechanics of Crash Bandicoot into it. It's done something that the Crash Bandicoot multiplayer games have never done before, and I'm very much excited for the release on June 20th. If you have any feedback you'd like to give Toys for Bob, or just feedback in general that you'd like to give Crash Team Rumble, comment down below. I can't guarantee that Toys for Bob will look at this video, but we went over a lot of stuff that could potentially be fixed in the final game, and I really hope that a lot of those things are fixed in the final game going forward. Alright, thank you guys again so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, be sure to subscribe, and click the notification bell to keep up with more Crash Bandicoot content and Crash Team Rumble content as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.